Hey, what's up, basement dwellers? We are here to review Brady's review on his top 10.
Yes.
We're
Or more.
basically just going to pick it apart.
Yeah, no, it's just going to be weeb jokes mostly. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Our guess for weeb count of video games out of 10. Jace, you went with
8 out of 10. I think he's going to put 2 bait titles in there, but everything else, it's going to be all Jap.
And the 2 bait titles are going to be generic, and they're also going to be bullshit. Like he's probably either hasn't played them, or he just Googled favorite white boy games that non-weebs play.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm probably with you with that. I think he wouldn't do 9. That's too many.
That's too many. He's got to have bait titles in there.
I'm going to go with 7. And one of them could be like it's a borderline, like a Japanese guy made it, but he was in America.
Oh, yeah. Fair.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into it.
Hi everyone there, it's Brady. I won't do a long intro because I'm sure the other two idiots have already done one. I'm also sure that you guys have watched the other 2 videos that have come out in this series. So basically it's my top 10. Unlike these 2, wherever they are, this is actually going to be a ranked list because I'm not a coward and I'm just willing to say this is my top 10 at the time of recording. Number 10, we have a game called Whacked. Whacked was an Xbox original, so like the first one before we went to 360 and then Xbox One. It was basically an arcade game, and I enjoyed it because you could have your friends over and you could have that multiplayer experience that I actually really enjoy about games that you don't get all that often anymore because everything's just kind of online. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. There was like King of the Hill games and the characters were super kooky. There was a really angry rabbit who had his paws removed by a Lucky Charm factory. There was a girl who was trying to win the game by running around nude, but she had like black bars covering her up. There was a dude in a chair who was just asleep and his chair was actually competing. It was wild. It was so much fun.
This might be bait right here. I don't know if this game was made in Japan, but woman running around naked.
Yeah, it sounds like a Japanese made thing.
Yeah, that sounds like something Brady would
Whacked. Whacked video game. I have never even heard of it, man, honestly.
I think I have heard of it, but I think it might have been Brady that mentioned it.
I have a feeling he's mentioned it on the show once before.
We should stop letting him announce things.
I think so.
That doesn't sound
why did we even ask
all.
him? Like, truly, why did we ask him for his opinion on video games anyway?
Yeah.
Do we even need to know?
I reckon. But I don't know. It sounds like a arcade game with a spin on it.
It sounds like a game show sort of a game. Typical to like the
something
the
I'd
Asian
play
game
with
shows
my wife when we're bored at home or something.
Possibly. I've got no idea.
And
all right.
Spending a week to tell us it was Xbox original, dude.
Yeah,
we know
thankfully
what
he
Xbox original is.
Thankfully, he cut his intro short.
Yeah.
All right, number 2.
Number 9 is Pokemon Crystal, mostly because it was the
Pokemon.
double regions. It still had
that wasn't
the original
predictable.
OG 150. You could
we should have guessed how many you would say.
I really liked the new ones. I thought they were a good inclusion. Pokemon Crystal gets my vote out of the Pokemon series, to be honest.
So he's only picking one in the series. So.
Okay. I'm surprised he's not going to throw in Arceus or something in there as well, just because of its difference.
Yeah. I think
talking that up a while back.
I think he's just got too many weeb titles. I'm wondering where he's putting Hentai Girl on this list. But yeah,
Dragon Ball Boner. It's gonna be in there somewhere.
There's like a trillion Dragon Ball games, so maybe. But it's an okay Pokemon game, but that sort of era of Pokemon games, I don't even remember. Were you big on Pokemon?
Nah. I didn't like anything to do with anime, man. Like, this is my first step into it. So yeah, never enjoyed those Pokemon games at all. Yeah, I like Pokemon Stadium, to be honest. I did like that. That was
Pokemon
cool.
Stadium was cool.
That was right.
But this was sort of like the first games were very much like cut and dry copies of each other, and it just sort of progressed from there.
Introduced different Pokemon, basically. Yep.
And this is just like a later one of those. And
what did it come out on?
Game Boy.
Yeah, right.
It was all like Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, blah blah.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't think there was anything special about Crystal. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything special. It wouldn't hit my fucking top 10.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, well, there you go. It wasn't.
Number 8 is Metal Gear Solid, the OG, like the very first one. Going back, it hasn't aged well graphic-wise, but the story was great. I mean, all the sounds, the soundtrack, the little alert noises, they're iconic. Everybody knows them. And I just think that
could be why
Metal Gear, the OG,
every
is
episode
just
of the podcast.
the king of the game.
Okay.
So we guaranteed 2 out of 3.
Yep.
On the Weeb scale.
Yep.
I never really played Metal Gear
I was going to say the
Solids.
same. I don't know enough about them to put enough shit on them.
I've played number 5 and I've played Revengeance a fair bit. Yeah. And I used to go over to a mate's place who used to play Metal Gear all the time. So I watched him play through the entire game.
Yeah.
I've seen it, but it's like, I don't know. I don't get the super big appeal of it.
Yeah.
It was different, but it never, like, I don't know, it never grabbed me by the balls. But
no, it never grabbed me either. That's why I just never played it. So
yeah. Mediocre choice. Move on.
Crash Bandicoot 2. I actually think the first one, like, I didn't play. I don't know why. I just played the second one first. And I think that Crash 2 was just better. 3, I think, was way too gimmicky. And I think everything since kind of has been. But 2 was just a lot of fun. And it's very 90s with, like, body slams and stuff like that. And that was my era. So, yeah, a bit of nostalgia bias playing into all of these, probably.
Didn't he hang shit on me for picking old games?
Yeah, he hung shit on me about my nostalgia bias as well. And now he's just like, oh, nostalgia bias, old games. Yeah, this is great. I'm groovy. He just wants to be us, man.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's an American studio because that was Naughty Dog, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, correct. Those. Yeah. I played them. They were infuriating. I did not have enough patience for them or time.
I actually bought the remaster series on Xbox recently. And I'm bad at them.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
Very bad at these games.
Have you played the newest one, 4? Man, it's near impossible. Like, I'm sure kids these days will be really good at it, but...
I've grown up to think that I am just really bad at platformers. I felt like I was good at them as a kid, but I think that's because I was an idiot as a child.
Yeah, and we also just had nothing else to do except for fail at playing a game. So
yeah,
you probably thought we were great. Like, you know, you'd fail at something enough and you're probably going to get slightly better at it. So that's probably what we were doing.
But I'm betting this is bait. Like, he's looking at top 100 PlayStation 1 games made in America.
Nostalgia games from back in the day.
Yeah, 100%. All right, what's he got next?
After that, number 6 is Tony Hawk's Underground 2. This is the one Justin tried to put on his list, but he was talking about the wrong fucking game. This is the one where we had 2 teams and you had to pick which one you're on, and there was like Tony Hawk's team and Bam Margera's team, and it was just kind of like Jackass meets skateboarding in a game where you did these like outrageous stunts and stuff. It was really fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. So yeah, that gets my vote for number 6.
All right, so in my defense, I did get the 2 mixed up, and I actually still meant Tony Hawk's Underground 1. I did not mean 2. I just took some of the elements out of 2 and I got them mixed up. So
number 1 was the better one in my opinion.
Number 1 was awesome. Yeah. Like number 2 sort of was just like a promotion for everything that Bam Margera was doing at the time, I feel.
100%. You know,
like, which worked. It was fun. Like it was good. I'm not going to say
fun,
it was
but
bad.
They took a lot of focus away from the skateboarding.
And just a whole lot of bullshit instead.
Yeah, it was like, oh, here's a mission where you, I don't know, do this random stunt, and it's like,
yeah, and it's like grind Preston's like Portaloo, and then Preston comes out, and you're like, haha, that's great, because he's from Jackass. That was it. It was just bait for the new movie. For I think Jackass number 2 maybe coming out, something.
It might have been even Viva La Bam era. Who knows?
Yeah, it could have been somewhere around that. But number 1 I feel was a much stronger game overall. It just had that really cool actual skater feel to it. Rather than
like that, like up and coming skater story.
Yeah,
you know, you were nobody,
badass.
Built up. It was fucking sick.
Built up, and then old mate steals your thunder, and you're like, well, fuck you.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so, that's the one I meant. Then I just started getting elements from number 2 mixed up where, the Ben Franklin and the Jackass stars. So, yeah.
Yeah, so basically he's picked the right series but the wrong title now.
Yes, yeah. I was describing parts of the wrong title, but the title I actually said was the one I intended on picking all along. So,
fucking Brady.
Yeah, fuck Brady.
5 is, of course, Sonic. I mean, like, the guy's tattooed on my leg. He's got to be in it, but it's Sonic Adventure 2. It's the introduction of Shadow. It was a 3D game. It was a lot of fun, and again, it had that 2-player element you could do with people with split-screen racing and stuff like that, and if I could play it today, I'd probably just fucking lose hours in it.
Okay. So the weeb count is still high. It is very high right now.
Yep. I've lost count, but it's up there.
So far, depending on whether Whacked is Eastern or Western, he's only got 2 Western games.
Right. Yep.
Now, talking Sonic, I've played the first adventure because he suggested playing Sonic Adventure 2, and I was like, I'll play Adventure 1 first because it seems wrong to do it the other way.
Yeah, just like he picked up Crash Bandicoot 2 first.
Yeah, like an idiot.
Yeah.
Who even does that? But the first one wasn't too bad. It's all right, but I think 3D Sonic is the weakest Sonic, to be quite frank.
Yeah. It was designed in such a way as it was meant to be a 2D, game.
100%. Super
and it worked
fast,
really well.
Side scrolling.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I could totally understand Sonic being in a list, but maybe Sonic 3 or Sonic 2, not fucking Adventure 2? Like, who the fuck? What?
Yeah.
Why would you?
Very
Get
specific.
Out of here, he's just being an edgelord so he could reference Shadow.
Number 4 is Skyrim. If we haven't mentioned the Elder Scrolls series enough, and Skyrim specifically on the show, there's a reason for it. I spent a monster amount of hours inside of Skyrim, and I think it gets at least top 5, but I played multiple different ways. I played magic, I played archery, I played sneakery, I played with long swords, I played with shields, like dual wielding. I did all sorts of things, found all these exploits, and just had so much fun with that game.
All right. Yeah, I should have guessed that he was going to say Skyrim. Like, it was pretty obvious. Yep.
I don't know. I've put a lot of hours into Skyrim, but I still
so do
put
I.
It up there.
Yeah, look, I have too. I've put very large number of hours. Surely it's over 300 hours into Skyrim over multiple platforms as well. But it still wasn't in my top 10. I don't even know why, really, to be honest. I think maybe because it's just too generic.
That's what I feel like. I feel like it's kind of like Elden Ring without the spice, if that makes sense. Like, Elden Ring's got this big open world, blah, 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 blah. But it's got its own flair. It's very unique style. And to some degree, Skyrim does as well. Yeah,
look, I think you're probably describing it like that because it just feels so old to you. Someone who hasn't played it before is probably like, what? You get dragon roars? That's sick. You get to fight dragons? That's sick. You can build your character however you want? That's sick. But because we've played it so much, we already know, like, sneak and archer is the only way to really just absolutely fuck everything up in that game. And after that, you don't need shit.
Yeah, but, like, I guess my point is more that, like, it feels like someone was like, all right, give me a generic fantasy setting and a generic fantasy storyline. But I want it with a bit of a Norse flair because Skyrim's obviously very Nordic inspired.
Yeah.
And that feels like that's all that Skyrim was. And you can say the same about most of the Elder Scrolls games like that. I think Morrowind is the one that really stands out. But, you know, Brady's not a real gamer, so like he wouldn't know about
I don't think he ever would have picked that up because it wouldn't have been on a console back when he had consoles.
It was on the original Xbox, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he had that though. So
he mentioned that's what he played Whacked on, didn't he?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, so basically he's a poser is what
he's too busy whacking it.
Yeah. Over the chick with the bars.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, what else has he got?
Number 3 is Final Fantasy 15, another game I sent over on the show. Basically, it just has the most fun story. Like, I think for a Final Fantasy game, the story was great. I still have issues with when it takes off and becomes all linear, but the open worldness of it, the way they really did invest in the characters felt like not just Final Fantasy game, but it reminded me of anime a lot because it really worked hard to make you feel what these characters are feeling and give them good backstories.
Okay, so Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
I don't have any comment because I haven't played any of them. I just don't like those games. So
it's a great game.
Yep.
I don't think it's the best in the series.
Well, obviously, you chose what, 8?
8, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think 6 and 7 are better.
Right.
Like there are a lot of brilliant titles in that series. 15 was good, and it's all modern and pretty and stuff like that. So that's really nice.
Yep.
But
bit more of a fan service there with the prettiness, you think?
It's just the most recent in the series, so
right, okay.
Tons of visual upgrades. Whereas like Final Fantasy VII was like 1997, so
right, yeah.
It was one of the early 3D games on PlayStation 1.
Yeah, so it's like having an ugly girlfriend. You know, you definitely have to like that one for its personality.
Yeah, exactly. That sums up the older Final Fantasies, though.
Yeah.
A lot of them are hideously ugly nowadays.
Of course.
They got that personality. But so I can't really fault him too much for 15 because it wasn't a terrible title, but he could have picked better, I think.
Yeah. I guess it depends on his age and when he, how he came up with them,
He's about 7, I think.
I think, mentally he's about at least 7, maybe 8.
Yeah, on a good day.
And his body, he's a short guy, so he probably looks about 9.
Yeah, he's only as tall as a 9-year-old, that's for sure.
Still gets carded everywhere he goes.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see what else he's got.
Yeah, 2 in a row probably is a bit cheap, but Final Fantasy.
Oh, okay, 7, here we go.
Now he's milking the series.
Now he goes there.
Is soon to be on the other. Sephiroth is the name of my Python. I just think it might have been the first time I actually felt a lot for characters in game. When Sephiroth kills Aerith.
Now he's spoiling games. Cool.
When Cloud realizes that his memories aren't his own. All of these really hit home for things that were just shitty pixels. And then playing the remakes in the modern era, I just love the shit out of it. So 7 definitely gets a vote and it lands at number 2.
Okay. Well, there you go. You can kind of half eat your hat, but also half expect it as well. So.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going, because of what he said about Pokemon, I didn't think he was going to milk multiple titles out of a series.
Yep.
But apparently that's a thing we do now.
Yep.
He's so unoriginal, he can't play more than, one series of games. He should have just done his top 10 as Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2.
This one's a 3-parter. 3, 4, and 5 put together.
Just went redneck out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But 7, can't fault it too much. It's a brilliant game.
Well, and you said it 2 seconds ago, and 100%.
You wouldn't play it, or maybe we should convince you to try one of them one day, but we'll get around to that one.
The hard part is, where do you even begin? Do you start at the earlier ones because you want to pick up the story, or do you start at a later one because their
stories are
hard
completely irrelevant?
Right. Okay.
Nearly every single one is a separate story. The exception is there's 10 and 10-2.
Yeah, of course.
Those carry on,
but same world setting.
No,
is that right or no?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So they're completely unrelated.
Absolutely unrelated.
So why are they sequel numbers? Why don't they just call them something totally different then?
Because in the early days, they all played very similar, and they're all made by the same people.
Yeah.
So they had this sort of continuance thematically.
Yeah.
They're all complete. You could pick up any title and just run with it.
Right. Okay. So they're as different as episodes of Black Mirror on Netflix.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
cool.
One day I should do a little recap of various Final Fantasies for you to sort of show you how fucking different they are from one game to the next.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Let's see what his number 1 is. He's up to 1, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Here we go. Pressure's on, mate. Putting it in numerical
Number one
order.
is probably a surprise, and I know these idiots are going to absolutely tear into me for this one. But Kingdom Hearts 2.
Of course.
Not because I'm a big Disney fan, but I just loved it.
Fuck, we should have guessed
play
it.
mechanics were great.
I knew it was going to be in there somewhere.
Open world sort of style
I forgot
stuff
about it
you
actually.
could do to a degree. And then leveling just was really fun. The forms, maybe I'm just a sucker for it because I'm like a Dragon Ball fan.
And he's referenced Dragon Ball.
Could use and that were cool. And starting the game as another character that somehow led into you, it just, I don't know. I think Square Enix were really doing a lot better in that one, where he was much more mature than in the first game, where I think they let Disney have the reins a little bit too hard in that collaboration in Kingdom Hearts 1. As a special mention, just before you guys cut this all off, I am going to say Elden Ring, but not because I think the game is exceptional. It's still got to stand the test of time, like everything on my list, which is basically all nostalgia as hell. Elden Ring, for me, it was the first game in a long time I played kind of as a community. You know, we had group chats, we're talking about it, we're looking up stuff, and that... I love the hell out of that, and yeah, it's what makes me come back to gaming all the time. Is I like to play it on my own, but I like to, you know, talk to some other people and share in that community. So yeah, hope you guys like my top 10, and I will talk to you guys.
No, he
soon.
likes having friends.
Yeah, well, screw him. I'm not playing Elden Ring anymore.
I'm gonna kick him from that group. Actually, it's too weird.
Okay, so we've got 2 to tackle here.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts first.
Yeah. Not a surprise at all by any means.
And like, I tried with the first one, and it wasn't the too Disney thing that he kept talking about. It was the fact that I can't wrap my head around the fact that, so the company that makes Kingdom Hearts is the same company that makes Final Fantasy.
Right.
Kingdom Hearts has characters from Disney, Kingdom Hearts, as in like their own unique characters, and Final Fantasy. But they also changed some of the names of characters from Final Fantasy, even though it's clearly those characters.
That's odd. Do they change the names of the characters from Disney?
No.
That seems weird to me that they would.
Yeah, so all of that sort of stuff seems really weird to me, and it reminds me of, like, you know, the Family Guy Simpsons collaboration episode where like the Griffins.
I haven't seen it, I don't think. But
okay, so it was an episode where basically the Griffins went to Springfield.
Right.
And it kind of felt like that. Like, it's just this cheesy tack on of, hey, look at all these IPs we can poke at you.
Yeah.
And like, I get that, you know, there is something interesting that they're trying to put at the core of it. But when you wrap it in a package with fucking Goofy and Mickey as your companions, I struggle with it.
Yeah, I see that. I definitely see that. It's hard to take it seriously when you've got, like, you know, these children basically running around you as well, which is kind of, I don't know. The whole thing's a bit strange to me. I can't say I've ever played one though, so I will actually give it a go, because Brady has sold it on us before.
Maybe we'll do a scuffed video game review of one.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Now Elden Ring.
Oh, then that is little bullshit. Like, oh, here's a little bonus one.
Yeah. Fucking top 11, dickhead.
Yeah. Did we say top 11? No, I don't think we did actually. Pretty sure it was 10.
You did say that he was going to do 11.
That's true. I did.
So beforehand, we were tallying up the numbers, and he said that he'd do 11 Weeb references, and there's 11 titles in this. But
it was close.
Elden Ring. Brilliant game. I fucking love it. It's got me so hooked that I am currently playing through Dark Souls because I just need a fix, but I can't keep playing the same fucking game over and over.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I can't really fault him on picking the game, but his lame, like, community excuses. Fuck off, man. That's lame.
It was, but it is also true. We've had a good group run going.
Yeah.
Like, anytime I jump onto that chat, it's like 150 deep. Like, I turn the chat off when I'm going to sleep because I know it's going to keep going all damn night with you freaks. And I get back on in the morning, it's like 150 unread messages, and there's like all these hints and tips and videos and all sorts of shit. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, every Elden Ring trick is in one video, in one group chat. Like, you went through it, you'd be able to find anything in there that we need to finishing the game. But
100%. Like, I used it heaps. It was fucking great. And like, I sort of get him on the community thing, but like, there's so much more to the game than just, I had friends on Messenger. Fuck off, Brady.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think we've learnt one thing about Brady, and that he's a giant weeb and he barely plays games that have left Japan.
That's, I mean, it was kind of, I guess, from the start, and it was just confirmed. About at least 6 or 7 titles, at least. So
yeah, disgusting. I'll tally up his weebness at the end.
Perfect.
All right, awesome.
All right.